I get asked a million times how I go about making my political channel YouTube videos, like the exact process, the exact strategy. And I've never really revealed A to Z exactly how we do it, exactly the philosophy behind everything we do, the exact setup that I have with my employees and what I'm doing on a daily basis and all that. So I think I'm going to go into that in this video and just really break down from A to Z exactly how we go about what we do, why we do what we do. And because there's reasons behind literally every single step that we take, and then the exact steps that we actually take. So let's start off with the actual ideation of the videos, like how we come up with the video ideas. How do we choose which videos we're going to make, which names we're going to use in the videos, etc. Right? So the first step that we do, and this is why it's so important to just post videos, right? Like when you first start out, when you first join my coaching program, I will give you like clear steps to take. But I say please just post videos. Do these things that I'm telling you in your first videos because they're very simple to do in your first videos, but please just post and don't think about posting, because it doesn't matter if you start today or if you start in 6 months and you think about it for 6 months first, you're going to suck no matter what. So just get the suck out of the way early and just post videos, because we can get data and now we have analytics to go off of. And if I have analytics to go off of, I can tell you exactly what you need to be doing, right? Exactly what you need to improve on, exactly what you need to change, whatever. So we're assuming that we already have some videos posted, right? Because this is how we do things. So we obviously already have a ton of videos posted. So we go in and we look at the 48-hour analytics and we see which videos are doing the best. Okay. Off of that, we're going to see which names are involved in the videos that are doing the best. So this is the political YouTube channels that we're talking about and how to grow political YouTube channels and my exact strategy. So for channels like Justin Reloaded and Justin Reborn, things like that. A lot of you probably know Justin Reloaded. So we'll go look at the 48-hour chart, and those videos, we'll see the names. So like Andrew Wilson, Tim Pool, Bill Maher, whatever the names are for these political YouTube channels, whichever name is doing really well, let's say it's Joe Rogan, we'll take that name and we say, okay, we need to make more videos on that name. So we'll go in the next day and we'll say we need 2 videos on Joe Rogan because the Joe Rogan videos are performing really well in the 48-hour real-time view chart, right? So we're just going to go look for Joe Rogan videos. And obviously, we're going to start by looking for newer videos. If there's anything new and trending that involves Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan speaking on something, then we're going to go use those videos. But if there's not anything new, that doesn't matter. We're still going to go find Joe Rogan stuff, and we can go as far back as 10 years, right? And we'll still frame it as it's semi-new. We're not going to lie blatantly, but we're not going to frame it as like it's an old-ass video because nobody's going to care. So that's how we figure out how we're going to find like which video topics we're going to use, right? How we go find them. We'll go and find, we use YouTube primarily. A lot of times we'll use X or Twitter to go find a clip, and then we'll go find the full version on YouTube. Or sometimes we'll just use the X version. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, is very good for finding these video ideas. But a lot of times, at least for me, I like to have longer video clips than I'm reacting to. And the longer video clips are going to be on YouTube and they're not going to be on Twitter or X. That's normally how it goes. So we'll go and find it, with the search. We'll just go search Joe Rogan or something like that in the little search bar. And we use those Twitter clips and go find the longer versions on YouTube, and that's the ones that I end up reacting to, or that my employees end up reacting to in their videos. Guys, I'm doing a free live class this coming Tuesday, December 2nd. If you're not there, then you hate money. I'm literally going to be telling you exactly A to Z how to leave your 9-to-5 job in 60 days and make 10K a month from the YouTube platform. I'm going to be showing you literally everything that you need to know. Make sure you are there. Go sign up with the top link in the description or the link in the pinned comment. It's Tuesday, December 2nd. There's only 100 spots total. A lot of them are already taken. So go make sure you secure a spot for this coming Tuesday and make sure you show up. I'm going to be revealing literally everything that you need to know. I'll see you on Tuesday. So that's how we pick the video topics. It's very simple. You look at the 48-hour chart, see which names are performing well on the channel, which names aren't. You pick the ones that are performing well. You go find more videos on those people's names. And, you do whatever you can to find those videos. It doesn't matter if it's a brand new clip, trending clip, or if it's from 10 years ago. You prioritize using those names again. Whichever ones are working on your channel right now, you use those names again. Doesn't matter if it's an old video, it's a brand new video, doesn't matter. You prioritize using those names again, okay? It's as simple as that. And then we make the thumbnail. You know, there's a clear trend with these thumbnails that I use. You can go see them across all my channels, the Justin Reloaded channel, the Justin Reborn channel, Justin is Lost, the Bring the Asteroid channels, all that stuff. You know, we use the same stylized type of thumbnail where there's swear words, it's very hyperbolic, there's a lot of, you know, he said this, F you, you know, F your entire family and all this in the thumbnails. It's very, very simple, you know, to see the strategy that we use. It works really, really well though, and it's worked really well for a long time. So I'll send it off to the thumbnail artist. We have a really good thumbnail artist, and I'll send it off to the thumbnail artist, give him like just a general idea of what the video is about, what I'm thinking for the thumbnail and all that. And he makes the thumbnail. You know, like I said, the thumbnail strategy is very simple. We have always some sort of conflict going on in the thumbnail. So there's one person versus another person in the thumbnail, and there's always swear words in the thumbnail, people screaming, people shouting, we're trying to invoke some sort of emotion. The most powerful emotion for making someone take action is anger. So if we can make someone angry, we can make them take action, which in this case, taking action would be clicking our YouTube video and giving us money through that. So we want to make people angry. We want to say, you know, make it seem like somebody in the thumbnail is saying something absolutely outrageous that they wouldn't be able to, I can't believe that person would say that, or I can't believe this person would kick this other person off their show. That's unbelievable. We want to make people have that sort of reaction to our thumbnails. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that person would say that. F that person. I got to click on this video and see it so I can tell them in the comments to go F themselves and that type of thing. That's what we're trying to do with the thumbnails. And then with the titles, same sort of thing, right? You obviously want to throw some keyword phrases in there to make sure that the algorithm knows exactly who we're talking about. So let's say we're making a Joe Rogan video. We want to make sure we have the phrase Joe Rogan in the title at least one time. And then I have realized that recently swear words in the title work pretty well too. You don't want to overuse them and use them in every single video. Use them sparingly, but use them. Use swear words in your title. Bleep it out, obviously. Don't put the actual swear word. Put a little asterisk or however you say that word in you know, replacing one of the letters in the swear word. But use swear words in your title, right? That's what I've realized recently that is working pretty well, and I think I'm a little bit ahead of the curve on that. So titles, like I said, same sort of thing where you just want to invoke some sort of emotion in people. And anger is a really good one, especially in the political niche and celebrity drama niche. And, you know, the channels like Justin Reloaded and Justin Reborn, those sorts of channels, you want to just make people a little bit angry. Like, I can't believe he would say that. I can't believe he would do that. I have to click on this video now to tell him to go F himself. You know, that's what we're trying to get from the title. So, Joe Rogan just destroyed Tim Pool's entire family, or Joe Rogan just destroyed Bill Maher's entire family, you know, something like that, right? Entire bloodline. Just crazy hyperbolic stuff to make people be like, what? Like, I can't believe he would do that. I have to go tell him to F himself now. So, you know, the titles, and then obviously to talk about the structure of the title itself, there's keywords and there's buzzwords, right? Keywords would be words that tell the algorithm who these videos are for. So that would be phrases such as Joe Rogan, such as Bill Maher, such as Justin Reloaded and Justin Reborn, like proper nouns and things like that. Words and phrases that are keying the algorithm in on who we are trying to talk to, who we're trying to target with these videos. And then there's buzzwords, which are words that differentiate your videos from the other videos that are similar to it. So an example of a buzzword would be destroys, right? Joe Rogan just destroyed Bill Maher's entire bloodline. Just destroyed would be the buzzword phrase. Absolutely annihilates would be another buzzword phrase. You know, things like that. Those, the ones that really catch someone's eye, the ones that really like, oh, this is not just another Joe Rogan video. In this video, Joe Rogan's absolutely annihilating Bill Maher, so I got to click on it. That would be a buzzword phrase. So every title has to have those. Every title wants to invoke the emotion the same sort of emotion that the thumbnails are, with the anger and just disbelief. I can't believe that sort of thing. And then, you know, we're uploading the video, and, you know, just to give you like a brief rundown, we do put end screens on the videos. The language is English. I don't know. Does anybody care about any of that stuff? It really doesn't matter that much. The language is English, obviously, but the most important thing when you're uploading these videos is the keyword stuffing, right? And this starts with the recording of the actual video, right? With the transcript, the most important part of the whole process, other than the topic selection, is the video transcript, because the video transcript is what YouTube weighs the heaviest for when they're figuring out who the targeting should be for this video, right? Who this video is targeting. The transcript is going to be the most important part. So we want to take that keyword phrase, let's say it's Joe Rogan, that we put in the title and we put it in the description as well. And we want to say the words Joe Rogan as many times as possible, especially in the very beginning of the video, right? The first 2 minutes of the video should be jam-packed with you saying Joe Rogan, or your voiceover artist saying the words Joe Rogan over and over again. Like, obviously, don't just sit there and say Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan, but say, in this video, we're going to be talking about Joe Rogan absolutely destroying this woke idiot Bill Maher, and just say, I can't believe Joe Rogan said this. This is the most heated I've ever seen Joe Rogan in my entire life. Just say Joe Rogan over and over again in different ways. Nobody's even going to pick up on it. I know it's going to feel weird to you, but nobody's going to pick up on it. And that's what we do. And we also want to do that in the description. So in the description, we're going to act as if we're describing the actual video, because we don't want to just spam the keyword, right? We want to act and show the algorithm that we're genuinely just trying to describe what's going on in this video. So we're going to say this video is about Joe Rogan destroying Bill Maher in different ways. So in this video, Joe Rogan goes on Bill Maher's show and absolutely annihilates him. I can't believe Joe Rogan just said what he said to Bill Maher. Bill Maher is never going to be able to recover from what Joe Rogan just said to him. And we're going to say that like 5 or 6 different ways in the description in paragraph format. And then, you can put some hashtags on the video, put hashtag Joe Rogan, hashtag Bill Maher, hashtag whatever, put 3 of them. That's what I do. Doesn't really matter too much though. And that's about it in terms of like our strategy and our philosophy for creating and uploading the videos. Now I want to talk a little bit about the team structure that I have. What I recommend that everybody does at first, if you want to outsource anything, at first, just go get some freelancers from Fiverr, or if you're inside of my program, I can set you up with really good freelancers. If you're not inside my program, go get some freelancers from Fiverr. You might have a tough time finding really good, reliable ones, but once you do, just stick with them. But the way that I have my team structured is I have a channel manager for all of my channels. Like, this person manages all my channels. So basically every day I've trained her to where she can pick the topics for me, and she basically just does everything for me. I'll be real with you, except for the actual recording of the videos. Obviously, I got to do some of that. Other people who are on my team have to do some of those things. And then she also records some of the videos as well for a couple of our channels. But basically, I'll just kind of oversee everything. Like, I'm just kind of like the visionary, to where I can go in the analytics and I'll say, okay, we need more videos on this person. And she goes out, she finds those videos, right? She sends them back to me time-stamped. So here's a Joe Rogan video, react to it from 10 minutes to 17 minutes. And it's very easy for me. I just click the link and I react to that specific timestamp. And then she sends it off to the thumbnail artist, who is a different person, not the same person. So she sends it off to a thumbnail artist. And then if I'm recording the video, I'm just going to edit the video really quick, because it takes like 5 minutes to edit these videos when you know how to record them properly, to where you can streamline the whole editing process. So she's not editing the video. If she's recording her video, she's also editing her video. And if anybody else on my team is recording the video, they know how to edit the video, so I don't have to hire an editor. They just do that. The only other hire that I have, other than a channel manager, is a thumbnail artist, because thumbnail artists are like, it's hard to train a thumbnail artist, a really good one. A really good thumbnail artist probably just has like a natural talent for making thumbnails, right? They just have a natural like instinct on how to make these good thumbnails, especially when you find one that is like specifically for your niche, right? Like, we have one that's specifically really good at thumbnails in the political niche. It's hard to find those. So, and it's hard to train those for sure. So we have that hired out. And then other than that, I just have a channel manager, and that's how I would recommend anybody go. Once you start making good money from YouTube and you're doing everything yourself, there's going to be people who are coming to you and asking you for help. Your friends are going to notice that you're buying nice cars and you're going out to nice dinners and stuff like that, or whatever you end up doing. And they're going to want help. I mean, I don't know, like, everybody's asked me for help, right? I've gotten asked by 50 to 100 times from childhood friends and family members and stuff that I hadn't spoken to in forever. And they're coming out of everywhere asking me for help on YouTube. And you can say, I can help you, Or I can just like give you a percentage of this channel and you can manage it for me. That's what I recommend you do. And you just kind of show them the ropes. You show them exactly what to do. You train them up, and eventually they kind of just know what you're going to say before you say it. And it's like you have a second you now. And now you can just have that person manage all your channels for you. And you can kind of just sit back, be the visionary, and, you know, steer the ship, right? Like, don't let it go too far off course. Always be checking in on everything. Because what I've realized is there's certain people who are really talented at this stuff, you know, and I think my specialties are picking video topics and titling videos. I think I'm really good at those things. And if I remove myself too much from these channels and from this business, those things start to struggle a little bit. So I got to keep my finger on the pulse at all times of these channels, or else they do start to dip. And the same thing's going to happen for you. You're not ever going to be able to completely remove yourself without numbers going down. That's the reality of it. So you want to do it as much as you can, but you always want to keep your finger on the pulse. So I would get a channel manager, teach them how to pick topics, teach them how to read analytics, teach them how to describe thumbnails that you want to the thumbnail artist, teach them how to do the descriptions, how to title videos and everything like that, so that all you have to do is steer the ship, record videos if you're recording your own videos, make sure you're doing the transcript trick that I talked about, and that's it. Maybe edit videos if you're like me and it's really quick for you and you don't want to hire an editor, then edit the videos too. But other than that, like all the really annoying like admin work is done for you when you have a channel manager. So highly recommend that. That's how we're structured. It's just me, a channel manager for all my channels. There's a couple of people who are taking 50% of these channels to do the voiceover, to do the recording and everything. And for those channels, I literally do nothing, right? The channel manager picks the topics, and then somebody else records and edits the video and uploads them. And my channel manager titles the videos too. So I don't do anything for those. I just steer the ship. For my channels that I'm speaking on, the channel manager picks the topics for me, sends them to me. I record, I edit, I upload, they title, they put the thumbnail on it, and I'm done. So hopefully that helped you out in regards to like seeing the overall philosophy of how we choose these video topics, how we make money from the political YouTube space, right? Hopefully that helped you out in that sense. And then hopefully it helped you out with understanding kind of the team structure, because I think a lot of people overcomplicate the team structure so much. And they think you need like 5 different freelancers for each channel. It's like, dude, you're not going to make any profit like that. You're not going to make any profit like that. You need to keep this team as lean as you possibly can. And the best way to do that is just by having channel managers and teaching them how to do these things. So hopefully this helped you out. If you enjoyed this, then leave a like, all that stuff. Like I said, I'm doing a free live class this coming Tuesday. If you want to know anything about, if you want to know everything about leaving your 9-to-5 job to do YouTube full time, I'm literally going to be revealing A to Z, every single thing that you need to know to leave your full-time job and go full time with the YouTube platform and make a ridiculous amount of money from the YouTube platform. I'm going to be revealing that on Tuesday, December 2nd. Click the link in the pinned comment and the description. It's going to be all over. And dude, it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to have some really good deals for you on that webinar, on that live workshop as well. So make sure you're there Tuesday, December 2nd. I'm going to be revealing everything that you need to know, literally everything. It's going to be amazing. I'll see you guys on Tuesday, December 2nd. Click that link in the pinned comment. The spots are limited. Go save yours. And I'll see you in the next video.